something happened over the weekend, but I want to project forward of the implications. ABC News giving $15 million to the library of Donald Trump
So nice of
and
them.
paying the
Uh,
lawyers' fees because George Stephanopoulos said something about Donald Trump that wasn't true. Most people are surprised. You don't normally see this kind of settlement. Sean, what are the implications of this settlement for ABC, for Trump camp administration, and for the media?
I think for Team Trump, it's excellent, right? I mean, it's a scalp. I remember when everybody remembers Anthony Scaramucci. One of the reasons that he came on as big as he did on the president's radar was he sued CNN and they had to issue a formal apology. There's something about getting media outlets to apologize, and in this case, to make a massive donation to the president's library, soon to be library, that really is a big deal for Team Trump, and I understand why, of course. But so there's this is a major scalp. Second, I think there's broader implications for the media because you are seeing, and I think you will see more lawsuits um, going on. You know, it started. You saw a lot with Smartmatic and Dominion going after some of the conservative news things, and then the thing that I find fascinating about this, Mark, is that there's always been this very high bar for public figures. The New York Times decision that the court came out with, and it's clearly now starting to hit a level where when you talk to a lawyer and you're a public figure and you say, this guy just maligned me, and they go, well, we got to prove intent and you got to do this, and we're going to have to go through discovery, and this is going to cost you a ton. And you go, forget it then. I mean, so you're starting to see a design. Like, I think you're going to see more people say, look, we can win, and they'll settle or whatever, because the key in all of this, in my opinion, is the discovery process. So they're going to go through your emails, your texts, your records, and say, oh, see, look, you said that Dan Turntine was a really bad person and whatever. And now we're going to use that. Or maybe even Dan said, you know, in the middle of this, oh, the bosses are horrible people and the network doesn't want that to get out. So they'll settle sometimes for a variety of reasons. But I think you're going to see a lot more of this coming in the next few years.
Dan, is this decision by ABC good for America, bad for America?
Oh, it's good for America. I mean, the way people would talk about Trump the last 9 years, rhetoric obviously got very hot. People conflated information. You know, in this instance, the difference between I think it was assault and rape, very big difference. And to Sean's point, what happened in the Dominion case, where all these personalities, all the terrible things they said about Donald Trump, and the contesting 2020 was humiliating for the network. It was humiliating for some of those stars. And so I think if it holds people more accountable, that's good about
I'm
what they
reading
say about public figures.
Yeah, and it's funny. Tim in the chat is saying, Trump needs to let them be good journalists. There is a difference. I am for a tough and fair media, right? They should hold you accountable. But when they speculate and lie and demean, like that's not good journalism. That's not good for anyone. When you read a story saying somebody did something, you assume as the reader or viewer that that's true because the journalist wrote it. When that was based off innuendo or speculation, that's not good journalism, and it impugns the character of an individual that might have long-lasting implications for them. So I think that this is very good. It holds them accountable and makes them rethink when they print something. Do I have this right? What impact am I going to have on somebody's life? I mean, I know this is not a reporter thing, but this isn't something we normally talk about, but this Duke issue that came up where the woman recanted her entire story and said, I made it up. Those individuals' lives have been forever changed.
Yep.
And I know that the media isn't necessarily, but like when you make allegations against somebody, they're forever tarred, especially in the internet age when you can't just undo it. So I think that the idea that we're going to keep the media, that they have to think in the back of their mind, am I right on this, is a good thing.
The only thing I'd amend to that is I'd like them to think about it on the front of their mind, not the back of their mind.
Fair enough.
This
You
is
can't
this is
understate that, Mark.
You cannot understate it. This is a corrective to not just about Donald Trump, but a willingness to level accusations using the power of their platform that are false. And the only thing about this case that's a little bit troubling to me is I think he just misspeaking repeatedly. I think he just got in his head that those were the facts. But if it takes $15 million and an apology to send a message to people, you cannot be reckless with the reputations of people, even if they're public officials. I think that's great. Some in the press are casting this as part of a Team Trump conspiracy to start trying to intimidate the media. And I hope that doesn't happen. But people shouldn't say because they're worried about that people should be allowed to speak falsely about people, even people in public life.